the world of online drama, stories are rarely one-dimensional, and the saga of Gypsy Rose and Ken is no exception. The layers of this narrative keep unfolding, fueled by Gypsy's fiery reactions to allegations and questions that surface during Sam BX's live streams. While Ken may have intended to defend her, his comments only seem to shed more light on the inconsistencies in Gypsy's story, and as Gypsy herself stepped in to address the controversy, her own words, meant to vindicate her, inadvertently added more fuel to the fire. Recently, Gypsy took to Instagram to confront the swirling rumors. She opened with what she called the false rumor of the week, firmly denying any involvement with Child Protective Services, claiming her baby is both safe and healthy. While this might seem like a straightforward denial, the intensity of her response felt oddly misplaced. Most parents in stable situations wouldn't feel compelled to address such rumors so directly. After all, their actions typically speak for themselves. By aggressively denying these claims, Gypsy may have unwittingly drawn more attention to the very concerns she was trying to dismiss. Moving on, she also denied taking weight loss medication, boldly stating that her postpartum appearance was simply a result of looking good. While there's nothing inherently wrong with addressing such speculation, the inclusion of this trivial claim amid more serious allegations felt out of place. This shift in focus to her physical appearance rather than the core issues being discussed comes across as a deliberate distraction, perhaps a calculated move to steer attention away from the deeper criticisms surrounding her parenting. Gypsy's next declaration revolved around her role as a mother, insisting that she is solely responsible for raising her child and is doing an exceptional job. While this statement might seem empowering, it's difficult to take at face value without tangible evidence. Given her history of questionable transparency, the claim feels more performative than if she truly is the devoted mother she claims to be. Why not provide a glimpse into her daily routine or share meaningful moments that reflect her dedication? Instead, this broad declaration leaves more questions than answers. The most peculiar part of her response was her denial of a bizarre rumor that the baby in a picture with Ken wasn't real but rather a doll. While such a claim is outlandish on its own, Gypsy's decision to address it directly seems like a strategic move.
It's when you have a newborn, it's hour to hour. But it's good. We're all really...
By tackling such an absurd rumor, she appears to be lumping all criticism into the realm of ridiculous conspiracy theories. However, this tactic does little to address the more legitimate concerns about her parenting and transparency. In the end, it seems less about clearing the air and more about controlling the narrative. What started as an attempt to defend herself has only raised more questions. Is there more to this story than meets the eye? As we unravel the threads, it becomes harder to ignore the gaps in Gypsy's version of events. One thing is certain. This is a story far from resolution. Gypsy's approach to responding to these rumors speaks volumes about her, perhaps more than she intended. Rather than addressing the concerns head-on and building trust with her audience, she chose to deflect, using dismissive tones and bravado. If she truly has nothing to hide, why does her response rely so heavily on avoiding the real questions and focusing instead on shutting down critics?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard has taken to Instagram stories to debunk some of the rumors circulating about her on social media. Gypsy wrote, "False rumors of the week. Number 1, no, CPS is not involved. Our baby is very safe and healthy. Number 2, no, I am not on any weight loss medication. I just look damn good for postpartum. Hate me, cause you ain't me. Number 3, Christy does not take care of my child for me. I do everything and am rocking it as a mom. Number 4, no, the baby in the picture with Ken and I after birth is not a doll or fake baby. If anyone believes this BS, then your brain has been rotted by misinformation and clickbait with bias and hate-driven content. God gave you a brain, use it." Gypsy's baby daddy, Ken Urker, joined Sir Morbid X YouTube live stream last night, where things got a little heated. Members of the panel were asking Ken questions that had to do with the baby, as well as if Ken had read Gypsy's book, and
the question remains, why not offer specific evidence or be more transparent, especially when it comes to matters that people are clearly concerned about? Take, for example, the situation surrounding her baby's birth. Initially, the induction was scheduled for January 16, but the baby was born naturally on December 28. Ken, who was trying to defend Gypsy during the livestream, unintentionally opened the door to deeper scrutiny. This discrepancy between the planned induction and the actual birth date raises questions. Early inductions are typically linked to health complications, either with the baby or the mother. Yet Gypsy has offered little explanation for why the induction was scheduled in the first place. If everything about the pregnancy was smooth sailing, why was an induction necessary at all?
The original induction date was supposed to be the 16th, not the 22nd. But the baby made an early appearance. But luckily, she was totally healthy and happy, and the doctor sent us home. There was no NICU. There was no C-section. It was a natural birth. I swear to that. I have no reason to lie about that. I have no motive to lie about that. That is the truth. And we got lucky, and I'm just happy and blessed that she was healthy, and everything has been great.
Ken's claim that the baby arrived naturally before the induction is notable, but key details were left unexplored. Were there concerns raised by the doctors? Did they express a need for an earlier than usual induction? If so, why haven't Gypsy and Ken shared those details with the public? The lack of clear answers suggests either a communication breakdown or a deliberate omission to avoid revealing vulnerabilities in their story. What's even more concerning is Gypsy's silence on the matter. For someone so quick to debunk rumors, why hasn't she addressed the induction question? Her avoidance only stirs up suspicion. If there were no complications or issues, why not provide a straightforward explanation? Her silence leaves room for the public to wonder if there were problems that they'd rather keep hidden, be it complications related to Gypsy's health, the baby's health, or something else entirely. Furthermore, the timing of the induction adds to the mystery. If it was initially set for January 16, just 6 days before the due date, why not allow Gypsy to go into labor naturally unless there was a pressing medical reason? For first-time mothers, it's common to let the pregnancy progress on its own unless there are clear medical indicators. The decision to schedule an induction earlier than expected raises further questions, and the lack of consistent information only fuels doubt about the validity of their narrative. By leaving these gaps unaddressed, Gypsy and Ken have allowed public skepticism to flourish. Transparency could have easily quelled much of the speculation, yet their failure to provide clarity only deepens the mystery. What could have been a simple explanation now stands as another questionable piece in an already convoluted story. In addition to these medical concerns, Gypsy's response to criticism often involves sarcastic deflections, like her "God gave you a brain, use it" remark. This kind of comment, while seeming confident on the surface, betrays a deeper insecurity. Rather than engaging with legitimate concerns, Gypsy chooses to mock those who challenge her. This may resonate with her most loyal supporters, but for others it comes across as combative and evasive, another tactic to avoid addressing the real issues at hand.
If anyone believes this BS, then your brain has been rotted by misinformation and clickbait with bias and hate-driven content. God gave you a brain, use it.
Given Gypsy's documented history of manipulation and dishonesty, these patterns only add to the growing suspicion surrounding her story. With every deflection and every unexplained gap in her narrative, the question remains, what is she truly trying to hide? Gypsy's approach to responding to public doubt is making it increasingly difficult for people to trust her intentions. Rather than providing clarity or offering concrete evidence to address the skepticism surrounding her, she seems to lean into sarcasm, which only alienates those genuinely seeking answers. Her inability or unwillingness to directly address the underlying reasons for public doubt, such as her history of dishonesty and inconsistent narratives, only widens the rift between her and her critics. The lack of accountability in her responses does nothing to rebuild the trust she's lost. Instead, it makes the situation worse, further isolating her from those who might otherwise have been open to hearing her side. Rather than acknowledging valid concerns and taking the opportunity to rebuild trust, Gypsy's dismissive remarks, like telling people to use their brains, simply avoid engagement with the substance of the criticism. While it might come across as strong or confident, this tactic only highlights her unwillingness to address the issues at hand. It feels more like a deflection, shifting the burden of proof onto her critics instead of taking responsibility for providing the clarity and transparency they're looking for. This approach does little to foster meaningful dialogue or resolve the tensions at the core of the public's doubts. Then there's the issue of her and Ken's lack of coordination around key moments, such as the photos taken of their newborn. Ken recently mentioned that he wasn't sure who took the picture of Aurora in the hospital, a statement that inadvertently exposed a significant flaw in their communication as new parents.
I don't know what you're talking about, because to be honest, I don't follow the TikTok drama.
No, there's only one
I don't
picture of you in the hospital.
Yeah, that's a photo that I released. I posted on my Instagram.
Yeah, but you didn't take it, so somebody took it.
No, I didn't take it.
And I believe it was Christy.
It.
Is it fair to say?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, who took the picture.
I'm just saying, Gypsy said that it was Christy, and she was kind of pissed.
Maybe it was.
Dude, come on, you know, you were there, bro.
I'm telling you right now, I swear to God, I'm not entirely sure who took the picture. We had a lot of people come in and out of our room. Right. And I don't remember exactly who took the picture.
All right, so I'm going to release it to TMZ and People's Magazine.
I do have a question.
Okay, it's already been released, but go ahead.
When it comes to something as important as capturing moments with their newborn, one would expect a high level of attention to detail. The fact that neither Gypsy nor Ken can definitively explain who took the photo raises serious questions about their ability to manage even the smallest but most significant moments of their child's life. If they can't account for something as simple as a photo, what other gaps might exist in their parenting or in their overall communication? Gypsy's silence on the matter is equally troubling. If the photo release had been unauthorized, one would expect her to voice frustration or at least clarify the situation, but instead she remains quiet. This only fuels suspicions, as it could suggest one of two things. Either she was complicit in the release of the photo, or she simply doesn't see the importance of addressing this controversy. Either way, the lack of a clear response casts doubt on her ability to protect her child's privacy or manage the narrative surrounding her life. Furthermore, Ken's uncertainty about the photo introduces even more questions. Was this really an innocent mistake, or is there a deliberate attempt to conceal the truth? Their inability, or reluctance, to provide a consistent and transparent account only strengthens the public's skepticism. If they can't be open about something as seemingly simple as the release of a photo, what does that say about their ability to handle more significant matters involving their child? The whole situation also reveals a deeper lack of unity between Ken and Gypsy. A photo of their newborn in the hospital should be a moment of joy and shared memory. Yet the confusion surrounding it suggests a breakdown in communication or control. This raises concerns about their readiness as parents and their overall coordination as a... With such important moments being mishandled, it's difficult to ignore the larger question. Why hasn't Gypsy addressed the controversy surrounding the photo? Her silence only invites further speculation, making it harder to trust the narrative she's presenting. Gypsy's silence on crucial matters raises important questions about her transparency and accountability. Does her refusal to engage with the public's concerns indicate a deeper issue with her credibility, or is it simply a sign of indifference toward the scrutiny? One such event that hasn't been adequately addressed is the alleged hacking of her email and social media accounts, which occurred just days before she went into labor. Ken's claims about this hacking incident have only sparked more questions than answers. If it truly was as disruptive as he suggests, why hasn't Gypsy spoken about it in any detail?
You explained the hacker situation. I mean, we heard the story, but it's a little weird with the timeline that y'all were battling this hacker in the hospital.
Okay, so Gypsy fell for a email scam
while she was in labor.
This was prior to that. This was days prior, and
days.
Yes, days prior, and I can't tell you the exact day the hacker took control of her account, but it did happen where she had released the login information to an email scam, basically.
What is the login information?
Oh, it's more.
All right, go ahead.
123
Tell
exclamation mark. No, so I have no idea, but so her information got released, and this hacker took control of her account, and luckily we got it back. But yeah, I mean that was a very real situation. I know there's a lot of people that think that like this was some kind of planned circus, which I don't understand the mentality behind that, but we got the account back and it's now in her name and under her control. So, I mean, we're lucky that we figured that out. But yeah, I mean, it was an unfortunate situation that lasted like a day or two, but we got it under control.
The timing of this alleged hack is highly suspicious. It came just before a major event in Gypsy's life, the birth of her child, leading many to wonder if the hacking story is a fabricated distraction. The lack of follow-up on this incident only adds to its dubiousness. Neither Gypsy nor Ken have provided specifics on what was compromised, how the issue was resolved, or what steps have been taken to prevent further breaches. It's no coincidence that the number SLV15 has only grown. Every other year in the UK, it has actually reached. Without these details, it's difficult to view the hacking incident as anything more than a diversionary tactic. When Gypsy addresses her critics with statements like, "Hate me because you ain't me," it feels dismissive and self-aggrandizing. Instead of addressing legitimate concerns, she seems to use bravado to deflect attention from the real issues. This response positions her as a victim of unwarranted hate, but it doesn't provide any clarity or substantive answers to those genuinely seeking to understand her actions and choices. It's a reaction that alienates people who might otherwise be open to hearing her side, as it shuts down dialogue rather than encouraging it. This pattern of deflection speaks to a deeper issue in Gypsy's communication style. By framing herself as misunderstood or envied, she avoids engaging directly with the criticisms against her. This defensive posture doesn't inspire confidence. Instead, it hints at insecurities about the inconsistencies in her story. A person secure in their truth wouldn't need to resort to dismissive remarks like, "Hate me 'cause you ain't me." Such statements feel superficial, lacking substance, and they do little to bridge the gap between Gypsy and her critics. In fact, they only push those who are undecided further away. The irony of this response is that it ultimately reinforces the skepticism she's trying to dismiss. Instead of disproving the accusations against her, Gypsy inadvertently affirms them by choosing to mock her critics rather than addressing their points with reasoned explanations.
Later.
Where?
On my fucking
On my
TikTok.
phone.
Wait, but you
On my
said you had
phone.
heard of it.
Hey,
You said
Pink,
I'm sorry
I
that-
think you're going to have to come back because your mic is crackling
I
for
said
some
what
reason.
now?
You said you had a part of it, and then now you said you
Yeah,
watched
no,
it.
I had a conversation with people and I made sure that she got her ass kicked out of the door. So it was great. I enjoyed it.
So you're proud of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
It's a little slurry. Just saying.
She was harmless. Did you think she was harmful to the event?
No, I'm just happy to see that somebody who paid for travel and accommodation to come down there and harass her book signing got booted.
It
at the door.
wasn't
I just really
harassing.
enjoyed that.
No one was
Well,
there
you
to
might have a different-
harass.
You might have a
Yeah, do you
different
have
term
proof
for
of
it,
the
but
harassment?
Wait,
that's
guys,
the term
one
I
at a
have.
time.
When viewed in the broader context of her public persona, this response becomes even more troubling. Gypsy has positioned herself as someone who has overcome adversity, yet this dismissive tone contradicts the humility one might expect from someone who claims to be on a journey of growth and redemption. This raises questions about the authenticity of her public image. Is she genuinely focused on self-improvement and accountability, or is she simply concerned with maintaining control over the narrative surrounding her? If Gypsy truly had nothing to hide, she could have used this opportunity to engage with her critics constructively, offering clarity and evidence to support her claims. Instead, her reliance on sarcasm and bravado only deepens the cracks in her carefully constructed narrative and leaves the public questioning her sincerity. Why does Gypsy consistently rely on deflection and bravado? Is it a shield to avoid accountability? Or does it reveal deeper insecurities about her own version of events? Do you believe Gypsy's version of the story, or do you think there's more to the situation? Hit the like and subscribe button and stay tuned for more updates as this saga unfolds.